There is now a way to farm disco bees inside of Grow Garden, even after the prehistoric update, and even after they removed the anti-bee egg from the shop. And today I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can do it and get a bunch of disco bees extremely fast inside of Grow Garden. Now, this is all completely free. You don't have to spend any Robux for this method to work. There's no purchases like that. So let's go ahead and get into everything you need to know. So in the prehistoric update, Roblox did something pretty interesting, and that is going to be the addition of the honey merchant, which I talked about in my last video. If you looked at this, you can see that they've added the honey merchant to the game. Now, what does this honey merchant actually do, and how are we going to use this to get anti-bee eggs? Because as you guys know, the honey merchant doesn't sell anti-bee eggs, never has, and especially in the busy bee update, the honey compressor and queen bee both did not sell anti-bee eggs. They were in the shop right here, and you had to pay Robux to get them. But I do have a method that will literally allow you to get them for free, but I do not know how long this will stay in the game, so be very, very careful and do this as fast as you possibly can. So basically how this works is you can, it spawns in every 4 hours before night events, and with this NPC, you're able to buy a bee egg, right? And you're probably wondering, you know, what's so special about a bee egg? I mean, you could trade it into this prehistoric quest and get a dinosaur egg out of it, but other than that, what are you going to do for it? Well, that is where we actually get into something pretty interesting that's going to allow us to get the anti-bee egg. I'm gonna claim this forever pack really fast and basically walk over to what exactly I'm showing you. So if we head over to the crafting right here, you're gonna see that we basically just pop this open. We can craft one of the anti-bee eggs. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, we actually need honey right here. I still have 6,000 left over from the event, so I'm perfectly good on that. And then you can also get the bee egg. Well, now we can actually get the bee egg from the shop. But here's the thing. What if you don't have any honey? Because you need honey, obviously. Well, that is the thing, actually. You can still get honey inside of the update. And you're probably wondering, well, how do you still get honey? So let me show you exactly how you're still going to get honey, then how you actually can trade it in, because a lot of people don't know that you can still trade it in to get honey. So what you're going to do is head back to your garden, right? And you're going to make sure you at least have 1 or 2 bees. This is going to be, I think, the only way you can now get pollinations, because there's no bee event, unless the pollination events still happen, but I believe they don't happen anymore. So you're going to want to grab a bee, or as many bees as you possibly have. As you guys can see, if I open this up, I still have my queen bee working, and a bunch of other bees, the disco bee, all that. So we can still actually get them. So let me show you exactly what you need to do. So as you can see, because I have bees in here, I'm still getting stuff pollinated all the time. I think everything in here is probably pollinated, because the bees, yeah, look, there's a lot of things that are in here that are still pollinated, and they're continually getting pollinated because of this. And this means that we can still farm honey. But how do we actually trade the honey in so that we can buy the bee egg, so that we can craft it and get the anti-bee egg, and then hopefully get the disco bee after doing enough of those? Well, if we head over to the cosmetic shop, or I mean, sorry, it's actually going to be over here at the seed shop. When the honey merchant actually goes ahead and spawns in, you're actually able to trade stuff in. So players can give pollinated crops and trade for honey at a rate of 1 honey per kilogram. Players may choose to take all pollinated crops and convert them into honey. So you're actually still able to convert these with the busy bee event, which means we're still actually able to get disco eggs. So let me go ahead and showcase this exactly how it would work. I still have 3 bee eggs left over because I didn't actually use them all, and I did go ahead and go ahead and buy a couple more when the bee was in shop. But let's go ahead. If you head over here, we can go ahead and craft this, and I'm going to just go ahead and submit items, 1 of 1 bee egg, and there we go. I just used my honey, and now we're going to go ahead and craft this, and boom. Now we have 2 hours left before we get an anti-bee egg. So that is going to take a bit of time, obviously, and crafting, skipping that does take some time and some money. So obviously crafting is going to be a bit of a difficulty, but if you want to do this even faster, what you're going to do is go ahead and get on a bunch of alt accounts, right? And all you want to do is basically load them up with bees, and basically what I would do is trade them your pollinated plants when the merchant comes in shop, trade them your bee egg. That way they can go ahead and sell your pollinated plants, get the honey, and then purchase it and craft it on multiple accounts. Then open the egg, and if you get the disco bee or whatever bee, you can go ahead and trade it back to your original account, making you the most amount of chances to actually go ahead and get the bee egg. Now, I mean the disco bee, or really any of the eggs inside of the anti-egg. The disco bee obviously is really overpowered because it can give you that disco mutation, which I think has 150 times sell X value, which is a really, really overpowered mutation. I have it on a bunch of these, and it's made me a lot of money. I haven't really sold anything in here. I've just been letting everything collect mutations. I bet if I sold it, a lot of stuff in here, I would make probably in the trillions, because of just how many mutations and how much stuff I have in my garden. But yeah, that is how you can go ahead and get the disco bee with this new disco bee farming method. I would abuse this before it leaves the game, because I do believe the honey will eventually leave the game either before summer ends or after. I believe it would probably be when summer ends. You're going to go ahead and not be able to get any of the bees or anything like that. And I believe they'll kind of move into a winter theme, and all of this stuff will be completely gone forever. So make sure you abuse this while you still can, and go ahead and get the disco bee while you can. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe,